with the white picket fence. I was speaking to a woman today. So I'm behind. I apologize. Way behind. Oh my gosh, 8 minutes. Okay. Matt, how are things going, dude?
Things are really changed, I guess. I came home this morning with the itinerary that I put together. I was a little bit rushed finalizing it, I guess, because like Katie's so quick to like be confrontational with me. She'll be like, "Oh, do you have a plan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got this plan." And she'll be like, "Oh, okay. Well, what's up with the plan?" And blah 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 blah. And she just comes at me so freaking hard, and it's just like I'm trying to surprise her with the plan because I know that's what she wants to see. She wants to see these, what I've got planned for us to do while we're up in Niagara Falls, because this is a kind of a two-way split between us. Like, I have a car show that I'm doing there. I want her to come with me, so I'm trying to split it. I'm doing
okay, so let me stop you right there, and I want to flip your perspective. Okay, so the first thing you said was, it's really hard. Like, she's coming at me right away. So think about when you came into the program, how we hadn't been prioritizing her. We hadn't been living up to who we wanted to be. We're not proud of the man that we are. Okay. And then think about what you just said. Well, I'm trying to make a two-way split. I want to give her this trip that she wants, and I want to surprise her. My first thought was going to be to tell you, well, communicate that. But then I listened some more, and you're talking about this car show. Now go back to what I just said. If your wife has not felt like a priority for a number of years, and you're not proud of the man that's been showing up at home, and now we're two-way splitting what we say we're doing for her, this is why men get so confused. And they're like, but I'm giving her everything she wants. Oh, man, you're giving her peace. It's like the other day we were on the call. I don't remember if you were on the call or not. Remember, Cher was like, I just don't have time to date her, but I don't want to have job sex. And like making a baby is all just turning into a job. And I'm like, dude, you just said you have no time to plan events for her because all you're doing is working. She's not a priority. So it's hard to see, Go ahead.
No, I do understand that. The thing is like, I don't know if anybody else does. It's like, after a long day of work, you're driving home and because I got about an hour and a half drive home after I work all day. So
right.
I'm driving home, I got all these like amazing thoughts in my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna get her some flowers, or I'm gonna do something, romantic, so to speak. And as the drive goes on, I kind of forget about those thoughts. And then I walk in the door,
you're like, fuck.
I don't have those roses in my hand, or, and I'm just like, fuck.
All right.
To myself, of course.
Yeah.
I have no idea any of this is happening in my mind or whatever.
But this would be exactly what I'm talking about. So if you think about your intent, to you makes sense, right? I intend to take her to Niagara Falls. I intend to buy these flowers. She's totally the love of my life, but fuck, I made a mistake here. Or I want to do the car show also. You have to acknowledge, take responsibility for you and your side. I'm not really showing up as the man. Even there with the flowers, I'm not really showing up as the man that I want to be. I wanted to do it, and I didn't set a reminder for when I leave work, for example. Whatever it would take to do that, right? So I would like you to really dig deep about how that must feel for her when she's not a priority. Because, dude, most of the time when there's a wall between you and your wife, certainly with Catherine and I, she wasn't a priority. In fact, it was all about this guy. And why my wall kept on building and building and building was because all I cared about were my needs. And then I had all these intentions. But then when I didn't follow through, what would happen? Well, we get into those arguments and those fights, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I did this. Like, I provide. How am I supposed? We just got on a call the other day, right? Well, how am I supposed to have time for this? I'm working all the time. Well, what the fuck is important? Right?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think that's definitely something that's she's kind of pointing out to me a bit because, I know you didn't take time to read the text or whatever, but she did mention something about me not knowing when the kids' functions are and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And in some ways, she's not wrong. You know, what we've kind of done at home here is we put all the stuff on the calendar, what the kids got going on, what I've got going on, etc. So that way, you know, we can kind of allocate who's driving the kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And typically what I do is I'll take a picture of the calendar, so that way I can also work what overtime I can work or whatnot.
Yeah. So I mentioned this the other day. Hold on, just let me interject there. I want to change that for you, make it super easy for you. Take the time to put it in your calendar. You haven't seen Man with Purpose, correct? I put that in the chat the other day. I don't think I saw your response.
So no, I'm working through Man with Purpose right now.
Okay,
I didn't really get too far
at the end. You're gonna get.
I was just like, I need to go back and find out what the hell I'm missing, because
I think
I know I'm missing something.
Well, I think Purpose is going to be massive for you, especially knowing the dynamic with you and your wife, like meaning career-wise, right? Purpose will be massive for you. But there's a section at the end you can flip to right now, and it's about schedule. I think I call it mandatory. It's about scheduling. And the reason is simple. Then you can go back to do the rest of, like, I would go back to being a partner right now, prioritizing her. We're going to get more into that Man at Play after Man with Purpose, but excuse me, it's not like you're totally off the rock here. I think it's just not understanding. Excuse me. So this is what I want. I want you to go through Man with Purpose. I want you to look at the schedule and how to organize the schedule. It's the very end of the lesson. Okay. Pretty much. Then you can take that instead of a screenshot and planning overtime right now. Not that you shouldn't do your overtime, but you need to be balancing out your whole life a whole lot more, a little more organized. And I know your hours really suck, but that's what I meant when I commented in the chat the other day, because if you're more organized and structured, then you are actually involved with the kids, or you know when you're working. The quality time between you and Katie can be phenomenal when it's actually the quality time, right? Now, as far as learning the stuff earlier again, I mean, the reason why I'm saying that now is because I want you to feel more like this is what I want, right? Not what I have to do. And I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're still a little bit in the this is what I need to do mode. It's what I have to do mode, as opposed to, you know what, I really want to be involved. It's not about overtime. It's just overtime is what I'm going to pick up, but I like overtime is just as important as this other stuff. Then when you start to think like that, when you start to think like that, you think a little differently about giving your wife the dream trip that she's always wanted, going to a car show and killing two birds with one stone. Like, your car's already awesome. You love it. You're doing well with it. You're award winning, if I remember correctly. But right now, our marriage is not award winning, right? And if you think about one of the reasons you joined this program was to be held accountable and go get the life that you're losing, that side of things, you've done a remarkable job with reflecting, because I think it would be hard for a lot of men like you coming in. Just the perspective, nothing bad about you, but the perspective of not understanding, right? Of the lack of understanding, really. I don't blame a man ever for that, dude. But would you agree that it's been a pretty big mindset shift for you, and that it's a little bit overwhelming?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit overwhelming. Part of me, like, you know, when I was posted that I was so many just ridiculous thoughts going through my mind. It's, you know, like, I'm questioning the reset. I'm questioning, you know, just conversation. It's like, you know, I'm reading through the comment section about guys trying to support me, and I'm getting pissed off about the comments, and like it's so many different things are just going through my brain, and it's just like, I've always been a spontaneous guy. It's always like, I wake up, today's today, what am I doing with? And it's, you know, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I don't even think twice to consult anybody. All I do is walk.
Excuse me.
Yeah, nobody's got anything going on.
Let me address that for you. That's sort of like my thing, like, don't use wit as a weapon, right? And people will say, well, I have a sense of humor that's sarcastic, and it's okay if they don't like it. Well, it doesn't work. And like, yeah, but like, if you use wit as a weapon, then you don't know if you're communicating with somebody that what they're really feeling, and you could destroy them that day, right? It's the same thing. You're justifying with, but I'm a spontaneous guy. I'm going to put it into perspective in a couple of ways. And I want you to really think about this. You might be a spontaneous guy. That's not working. Number one. Okay. Number two, let's say it did kind of work. What if you could have more? I'm going to take it to business so that you don't have to put this on pressure on you for the marriage for a second. But think about this. If I was wanting more money, right? So I want to get to 7 figures and I want to figure out how to do that. Okay. So I'm 7-figure business. I can't do that if I'm not doing the boring work and I'm not organized and structured. That's like saying I don't need a calendar and organizing. That's like saying I don't want to do the boring work. The same way you would say, well, I don't want to plan things. I'm spontaneous. Listen, if you want to think about it in a really solid perspective, besides those two, like it's not working and that's not who I am. Okay. Go to the third, which is right now your wife doesn't trust you. Right now she's not sure that the man that's in front of her is going to follow through potentially with the program. I mean, you yourself just said, I'm questioning the reset and some of the advice that I'm getting, right? But understanding already that there's things that our mindset hasn't shifted yet. It's not about the reset not working. It's about the mind holding you back. It's limiting you.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. Okay. I'm tired of shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I've had a lot of thinking while I'm, cleaning the house and kind of just doing other things. I'm thinking about all the stuff that I've thought about while I'm frustrated. And I'm the king of self-sabotage, man. Like I will 100% throw myself under the bus 15 fucking times over. If I don't get what I want, or I don't even know how to word that correctly, but I know I self-sabotage the shit out of myself. And that's something that I really got to work myself out of. Again, going through some of the reset program stuff, I think you said something in there about having confidence in yourself and how you out in the real world, you're capable of everything. And that's 100% me, right? I don't think there's nothing I can do. 9 times out of 10, I don't pay somebody for something. I don't pay somebody to wrap my car. I don't pay somebody to install parts, etc. I don't pay somebody to do my plumbing. I don't pay somebody to do my floor, right? All that crap. When it comes to renovations, I do all that. I have so much confidence to tackle that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't have is confidence to tackle Katie because I feel like she's just so, just so aggressive. I don't even know.
Okay, a couple of things. You have a powerhouse, man. Your wife is like Catherine was. Like she's a powerhouse. Okay? Super type A, super in charge, super running the show. Already not like a priority. There's a wall between you, fella. She's been doing, the corporate and the home life. And then you have something working against you, and that's a mindset that I was talking about earlier, right? Your mind is the only thing holding you back. So what I mean by that is when you don't understand why, let's use the word you used, when Katie's aggressive towards you, and you know that you're trying to work and you're used to tackling things and everything is under control, like i.e. I can handle and fix my problems, but I can't fix this. What's happening is it makes you question if you're good enough. That's why you sabotage. So you immediately start to think it'd be easier to prove. You don't know this. This is subconscious, by the way. It's easier to prove why I'm not worth it because at least you have an answer. Because nobody wants to feel, you don't want to feel like you're not good enough. This is subconscious, man. This is your nice guy. This sucks. It's real. And the shitty thing about it with a powerhouse wife, like no shit, she's a strong ass woman. She's a leader in the world, man. Like, well, at least for career. I don't know about the world, but from what I know, she's a fucking powerhouse. No shit. It's going to make you feel like you can't keep up when you know you're questioning your own self-worth at home with something you're not good at. It's okay to not be good, man. It's okay to know that I need help. It's okay to learn to be better. It's okay to acquire the skills. You said plumbing earlier. Well, you're probably the kind of guy that just fucking went to Home Depot, picked up some shit, and figured it out the first time. You don't strike me as a guy that need to go on YouTube. Not saying that you don't go on YouTube to learn things, but I get the vibe that you're able to just go figure out how to fix the sink. That makes you feel valuable and not question who you are as a man. But when we don't know how to deal with a powerhouse wife, it makes you feel like less of a man. And so you sabotage and you cheat yourself out of everything you could have. And it's okay. As long as you understand that, we can then stop that. We can break that cycle. You know what I mean? You had a recent episode with that, right? Taking care of yourself, right? So it's going to be like that, where you directly sabotage, and it's like, oh, I should have known better. It's not even really subconscious. It's like you probably had a battle within, should I not? I know what I should do. What would Cass say? And others will be where you have no idea. Like, cool, I can do a car show and take my wife to the falls. Wicked! Because you get everything that you want, right? And so it's harder to learn that you don't realize you're sabotaging at that moment. So one is a choice, and one is like, oh, fuck, I got to reflect a whole lot more here. I need help. You might need help for the choice too, by the way, right? My take is, if you know the choice, make the choice. That doesn't mean that we don't have to get to that mentality too. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so plan moving forward. I'd like to go into Plan with Purpose. Look at the schedule thing near the end. I think, like I said, it's called mandatory. From there, reach out if you have any issues. You might, because your calendar sucks with your shifts. They suck. So you might need some help. But do that. Get that organized. Second thing is, when you're going through the reset, go specifically through control and home and kids. And the reason is because I really want you to dial in on partnership. Really dial in, thinking about it with what we're talking about today, so that when we get to Man at Play and we start to love her, value her, respect her, to really make her feel seen and heard, then she starts to really feel that wall can come down, because the prioritization is there. It's real for her. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, when you go through Purpose, just so you know, it's not like we're going to take cars out of your life. Are you kidding? Cars is a mad passion for you, and you should definitely have that in your life. But sometimes we have to dial back a little bit right now. Like I said, you have the awards, but let's get the award on the shelf for you and your wife right now. Just saying that loosely as an award, obviously. Well, maybe not. Catherine and I just got one for International Empowered Couple Award or something. So, like, maybe not. I don't know what's in store for you, dude, but I want you to have the opportunity for it. Your car's awesome. I know how much you love your wife, man. I fucking know how much you love your wife. You were dead serious about loving your wife from the moment I spoke to you. And I can tell the difference, man. I can tell who's a douche, who's doing it because they have to, who's doing it because they just don't want to go through a financial divorce. I can tell the difference. So don't let your nice guy sabotage you. Be a great guy. Okay?
Yep.
Do you have any questions about anything I said? Because I let you have it.
No, not really. No, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said, for the most part. I don't think you were really wrong with your prognosis, or whatever the word is. I think you kind of nailed it a lot. Mm-hmm. To be completely honest with you. So,
is there anything?
I got some work to do.
Is there anything that you do disagree? You said agree with a lot. Is there anything you disagree on, or you need to talk about?
No, not really. I mean, like I said before, when I get fucking mad, I guess my brain goes off on these crazy tangents, and it's just like I think of all the other things I can blame besides myself, and that's where I end up kind of just like questioning the reset, questioning the advice. You know, I know that the advice is good. I know that these guys have good hearts and they're not, you know, they don't have anything to gain by pushing me away from my wife or whatever the case may be. You know, it's just, it's that accountability, man. It fucking kills me. You know,
That is
it's,
that is your nice guy. So what happens is we lose control, right? And we start to get angry. We start to get upset, and it's easier to blame than to take responsibility, right? If I was doing all this and it's not good enough, it must be her fault, right? It must be the reset's
Yeah.
fault. It must be the advice that the guys are giving me. It must be their fault. It's easier because then it wouldn't, otherwise, we failed. And the problem with the nice guys, we don't want to feel like a failure, right? And nobody does anyway, really. You know, it's like you want to put your car on a show. You don't want to lose. You want to win. Because if we're not winning, we're losing, right? So the most important part of your journey right now is to understand those moments, that thought process. That's not wrong. That's just the habits and the programming that you developed. It's not right and it's not wrong. It's just shit that we have to take over with new skills, replace with a different thought process. You know, make decisions based differently. Like here, let me give you a good example of how you did do it right and you did it differently. You're on the call, you're being vulnerable, and you're speaking from the heart. You're not saying anything like fuck her, fuck this. You're listening with an open mind. That's none of that is sabotage. Your rate of success is not necessarily based on you. She's got to be maybe a little less aggressive. Maybe. We just can't do anything about that. So that's when it goes back to you. Right? Always owning, like we talked about the other day. If you have gratitude, man, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So she's aggressive. Forget the resentment. Just remember why you're here. Wasn't for her, you wouldn't want to be growing as a man right now. Okay?
yeah.
And I promise she won't be aggressive forever. Or impatient, maybe is a better word, might be for her, because she knows about the program and everything, right? So she could be impatient,
Yeah.
right? That might be an easier way to frame it in your mind. And so if you could, yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like for me, you know, it was, we talked about the weekend. I'm sorry, I'm just relating it to what you're saying, but
Mhm.
you know, we talked about the weekend, and I said, yeah, I got all this stuff planned, and then again, I had like a play-by-play, if you will, in my head. I just hadn't mapped all the times out. I hadn't had time to sit on Google Maps and go, okay, how long is it going to take me to get to this destination, so I could give her times. It's like, okay, at this time, this is going to happen, and you know, so she says, oh, you know, when am I going to see this list, or you know, or sorry, so when am I going to know what's going on? And I was like, oh, you know, I'm putting together something really special for you. And then it was like maybe 2-3 days went by, and then she would just hit me. It was just like, well, you don't have anything for me, and you know.
So
that type of attitude.
let me
That's
give.
where like it hurts me.
I'm gonna give you. Yeah, because you're not.
I don't even get a chance to present it because she's already asking.
Yeah, but that's not even assertive, aggressive, impatient, none of those things. That's actually all on you. Let me give you some perspective switch, right? First things first is, hey, babe, don't worry about it. But I do know, still smiling. And last thing I want to say is if you weren't focused on the car show also, you probably have more time, right? Remember, we have lots of time for car shows, but do we necessarily have lots of time for our wife? She's impatient. Okay.
I haven't made the time. That's the truth of it all.
There we go, is a real reflection right there. There we go. You didn't make the time. So taking responsibility for yourself is a massive step. Understanding that it's difficult for you is okay. And if we need, your wife's in the reset. If we need to communicate that with her, we will. Right? I think I said she's in the reset. Knows you're in the reset. So, like, no women do the reset. So if we need to, we will communicate that. But if you're using the reset, hopefully she'll ask you first rather than be aggressive or upset or frustrated, impatient, whatever, insert whatever word. Okay. That's being a man with impact, being a man in control, and being a man in power. Now go be your fucking wicked partner with her. Okay. If I was you, if I wanted to really level this up, if I was you, what I would do is I'd pull from the car show and I'd do a couple of those. I'm not going to give you the whole weekend, but I'll tell you what, I need you to bring this and this. Do you need to know? Because I've got a wicked weekend planned and literally have it all planned. Make that a thing. That's how I would handle it. Okay. The idea is to get her feeling excited, not going away feeling like shit. And by the way, along those lines, what is it with Niagara Falls? You're the second one to talk about it and have something negative start with Niagara Falls. Maybe we should just put that in reset. Don't go to Niagara Falls.
Just where the show is, to be honest. That's just, like I said, it's just a big deal. Something that's I've been looking forward to for quite some time.
You might be.
Done a show this big before.
I can appreciate how hard that would be for you. And I think that there'd be a lot of mentors that would be like, no, go do the show then. It's very important. But dude, you've never done a show like this big before. But you've also never had the opportunity to save your marriage before. Never tried to prioritize it before. And that's where priorities matter. I'm not the one to take away a car show from you or whatever your purposes are. In fact, I want to give you more and make you less available for your wife. But first and foremost, it's marriage. Not necessarily your wife. Marriage, you too. Right? Okay? Think about that.
Yes, sir.
You might even think about a different city, and you might completely disagree. And if you do, I need to know that so I can make a plan with you. Okay?
All right.
Okay. All right, let me move. Jeff, I know you need to talk. I have not even seen your text. I just saw it come in.
Yeah, hang tight for a second here.
I don't want to hang tight. I want to talk now.
All right. No, he's working from home. I just, you know. All right. Anyways, mine is in regards to sex. You know, it's happened more often recently since everything went down with the emotional cheating. But the one thing that came out, like, I feel like my nice guy's coming out in the bedroom. This makes sense. But yesterday we had sex, and I have it in my head because, you know, if we go like 2 weeks or something, I have it in my head that, like, I need to show up and, like, prove my worth in the bedroom or something. So she's like, you know, what's wrong with just having a quickie? You know, you're so focused on going for 45 minutes straight that, like, you're not listening to me, and it makes me want to have sex with you less because you're not understanding where I'm coming from. If you made it just go into it with no expectations of length or what's going to happen in it, then I would feel more like maybe we could have sex more often, or I would be into it more often. And then I started reflecting and thinking, holy shit, is my nice guy showing up in the bedroom? Like, I got to prove myself.
Well, yes and no.
So
like, first of all, I wouldn't listen to her at all with that. Like, she's not wrong, and you could get some valuable insight there, but don't pay attention to what she says. Pay attention to what she does. So when you're in the bedroom, how receptive is she? What's going on? You should be trying to be in tune with her anyway. You should be trying to understand what she's feeling anyway, whether she's shaking, whether she's trembling, whether she's making noises, whether the noises get louder, whether the hair stands up on her back, whether there's goosebumps on her body. All of those things should be natural, right? So you first break it down more simply, though. If we forget what she's saying, we pay attention to what's happening, start to think about, you still have needs too. So where the nice guy messes up mostly in the bedroom is he's actually doing it differently, and he's actually pulling back. So a nice guy would get insecure, maybe get soft, take a long time to get hard, blow his load too quick, like all these things, or not even let her touch him. He's going to jump on her, make sure she's taken care of. Not that you shouldn't. It's just that he's not ever focused on his own pleasure, right? And
that's kind of what I'm doing in a way, is that piece of it right there is focusing on my, you know, not focusing on my pleasure. I'm like orgasm focused for her.
But you are with words. So what what you're saying is you want like the super long one. No doubt. If we haven't had sex in 2 weeks, like I'm always like, yeah, can we play more too, baby? Like, what's going on? No quickie for you. Ha ha. Throw her on the bed and go for it, you know? Like, but let's say, for example, you're going for it and she's not quite in. Well, maybe she's not quite ready yet. Or here's more likely the problem. You're putting the pressure on her as the nice guy, not enjoying yourself. I need to take care of you. That is a good thing. So I don't want this to get messed up. Of course you want to take care of your woman. But the moment you don't let her take care of you, kiss, I don't know, whatever, you're just hyper focused on her pleasure, let's say. The moment you do that, that's like when you give to get, putting her on the pedestal where she can never live up to it. Like literally, in this case, she can't. You're not letting her give you pleasure. You're not letting her. So that's why she's like, I'd rather have a quickie rather than have a long one. It's just easier to get this over with because otherwise I can't live up to this, man.
Comment too, like she asked, she's like, can you give me a back rub or something before we have sex? It's almost like a gift to get on her part. I looked at her and I said, no, babe, I'd rather kiss you. And so I started kind of like kissing her and making out, and she was doing it. And then, but she made a comment like halfway through, she's like, kissing just seems like a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I was kind of thinking back. It's like, it's something that I enjoy. I'm trying to do something different, but you're not being receptive to it.
So this is all just
telling me it's a lot of work.
This is all going to feed into it. Like all of this nice guy pressure. It's the pedestal. Yeah. It's the give to get. Don't worry about her give to get right now. Stuff like that can be super fun. Catherine and I will do that sort of stuff. Like I bought her some Brussels sprouts she loves yesterday. And then I handed them to her and I go, no, not yet. She goes, blowjob. You know, so it there is obviously looking like a give to get there, right? But it's not. You already cuddle her all the time, massage her all the time, do all these things. Yeah. But you're doing different work than her too, right? So she might have just been asking for. I just really would like I'd like for example, if she feels the pressure to orgasm, to be having the one to perform, so to speak, then she might want more to get in the mood, more relaxed. Flip side, maybe along the lines of her nice girl. Sure, maybe she's giving it to get a little bit. If you give me a rub, I'll do it. That would make sense with the quickie. Yeah. But now you're kind of overanalyzing shit that's not in our control. If you can just focus on the fact that I can do a little bit better here. What can I do that's going to make her want to make this rendezvous last a little longer? Hey, maybe it's not like, I was going to say asking, not that you're asking, but for example, just flipping her over, just rolling over and saying, I'm not ready yet, right? Being a bit more manly and going, nah, my turn now, and just taking it, allowing yourself to feel that pleasure, right? Yeah. I'm guessing that's what's messing you up right now.
No, I kind of flipped around and did different things. I think her take on it was, we haven't had sex in a while. You just can't expect marathon sex and go into it with expectations that it's going to be 45 minutes long. And sometimes I don't want it to be that long. And if it is, that's cool. She kind of told me to read the room, but sometimes she just wants to make it.
Yeah, but see,
she wants to enjoy that moment, but quick.
Yeah, but see, you're listening to her who doesn't want to have you, telling you what would make her want you, which is telling you, I don't want you. No, man, you need to show up in a way where she wants you again. I'm not saying that a woman doesn't want a quickie, but if it's been 2 weeks, you kind of want to play a little more, right? As a man, right? That doesn't mean she does. Yeah. So you have to show up so she wants you the same way, right? You want like so. Catherine was sick a few weeks ago. She was sick, and I show up, and so the whole idea is like she's like, I need you now. And we have the joke, if it's in 2 days, she starts to look at me differently. Oh, I like that shirt. I'm like, this whole thing. You know what I mean? You know, like it's hilarious to her now because I show up. That's what I want you to do. Think about it, not like what is she saying and arguing the quickie versus the long. Just do what you need to do so that she's back in the game and wants more. Right?
Right. I.e. the reset in general and whole.
Correct. Well, I think in this case, nice guy. What I meant was when I said like it wasn't about you not flipping her over. It was about you not accepting the love And that's the problem with the nice guy, is not letting her kiss you long enough. That's probably why she doesn't want to kiss you, is maybe she doesn't feel like she likes kissing you. Don't take that personally. But if we are so focused on, oh my gosh, now I have to kiss her neck, excuse me, instead of enjoying the kiss, you've ruined that a while ago. Now we got to build that back. That's one from my life, by the way. Something that happened with me and Catherine, by the way. So if we push her away, i.e., put her on that pedestal and smother her with this, it's the same thing. She can't live up to the expectations. So the performance, I bother.
She actually said that when we were done. She said, she's like, you know, when you tell me you could go another round, or if, like, you want to go 45 minutes long, sometimes it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Like what we just did wasn't good enough for you. And then she starts to get resentment, like makes her not want to have sex again because, you know, it just wasn't good enough for me.
Well, yeah, because
that's how I'm showing up somehow.
Because you think you're communicating by saying, I want you again, right? It's like when the guy's cutting the turkey and he's like, this is the breast I'm going to get this year for Thanksgiving. It's not fucking funny. And I know you weren't making a joke, but it's not fucking funny.
Right.
It makes her feel bad. Instead of realizing it right now, she's still in the mode of, well, you only, it's not a desire yet.
Yeah.
It's not. And also that whole emotional connection thing that you guys have been going through, there's no intent to be connected either. Not yet. Right?
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes sense. I'll still work on the connection piece. You know, I wasn't, the way it went down made me kind of feel good, like I'm making some strides though, is because I just kind of said something along the lines of through text. I said, damn babe, I can't get you off my mind today. Get out of my mind, would you? It's like a wink face joke. And she's like, well, we'll have to do something about that tonight. And she sent some funny emoji. And so it just happened. I didn't beg for it. I didn't ask for it, but it's still kind of like you said, it still kind of feels a little bit like she's trying to get more there, but she's still in the job sex mode. So I can see how some of that plays into her wanting it to be less long and, you know, more going through the mechanics versus she still said she enjoyed it and she still said she connected with me, but it's not to the level of sex that I definitely didn't want.
Well, yeah. If that's what you have most of the time. I mean, Catherine will tell you straight up, makes her feel like a woman for quickies. But we also learned through the process that she can be just as womanly with longer sex, different positions, more excitement, out in public, not just at home in the bed, you know, with the risk of the kids walking in. Well, we were careful with that, but you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that it's bad to have quickies. That's just one type, right?
Right.
But if that's mostly your type, it's probably more a job. Get it over with kind of mentality, if that's really what you do. Because it's not a time thing.
It's not. I'm more of the guy that goes in there and wants to.
No, not you, her. I know with you, not you, her. We wouldn't be on this call if she was like going the other way, man. Fuck. Jeez Louise, man.
That's true. That's true.
That's how, I hope that turns out to be a really good clip.
Beautiful bald head.
Well, it kind of looks like a penis. I'm surprised you're not all turned off after you guys work with me all the time. So I have to wear a hat all the time. All right. Okay. I'm going to move on to Guillaume. I know Guillaume needs to probably check in.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. It's what happened is last time we discussed this thing in Tango kind of boundary. I mean, the answer was that she wants family to be together and working on it. She's stepping up with the kids, but I know. Basically, I get to give you the summary. I know that she's still texting that bad friends where they make plans to like with kind of stupid shit, you know, to with the guy. So I've seen an exchange where she's basically from back then where she's basically like, oh yeah, if he asks me to move, I will move in really, really directly. And like so she's kind of doing this good pretend in the meantime.
Hey, Guillaume. Guillaume.
Better once in a while we have
Guillaume. You know how I spend a lot of time talking about not encouraging her behavior, you know, we enable our partners to become resentful, blaming, defensive, contemptuous. We do. That's everybody does it if they're fighting. We all enabled it. You have influence either way, the negative or the positive. I'm going to do the same approach with you right now. Are we really going to have a conversation about this other guy again? Or are you ready to do something about it? If she's going to move in with like, first of all, if you're looking at her fucking phone still, is that what you just said? I saw another conversation.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Are we not past that? We've agreed. You're leveled up. You're awesome. You're no longer looking up to her. In fact, you're looking down on her because she's not only not leveled up, she's gotten gross, not even being a mom barely. There's another dude. She's talking about this other dude that she'd live with the other guy, and you're still asking what to do. Man, you got to let this go. I'm not saying it's over, but I'm saying you can't enable her treating you like this anymore. Dude, it's time.
Well, I mean, I'm not supposed to know, but the thing is, right now she's there.
No. You don't have to talk to her. Guillaume, stop. Stop justifying why you don't have to follow through with manning up. Stop it. You've known about this for a really long time. You've been patient. You were not aggressive. You took responsibility for you. You moved now to a new place. You found out there's another dude. You're not going to talk to her about the other dude. You're not going to be like, this is why. She fucking knows why. She's telling her friend about the fucking affair and where she'd live. And you're justifying to me on the call why it's not a good idea. Dude, it's your nice guy afraid to lose your marriage. Dude, you don't have a marriage to lose. You've become an incredible fucking man. An incredible man. And she's fucking around or thinking about fucking around or planning to live with another man. You're not the man she started to have an affair on. You're not. I can't let you do this anymore. I can't let you complain and sit in your pain. In fact, I just filmed content on that today. Those people that are judging you, let them. But it's time for you to leave if you can't block out the noise. Well, I'm not noise, dude. It's time to put a boundary down. For you. My man, I love you. Your brother. You're an incredible Lord. I don't think there's a man on this call that would say something differently, negative about you, how much you've helped other men. But now it's time to help yourself, man. It really is.
Where I block is if she's like really trying the efforts, but all I have is information from is because I saw the phone.
You saw the phone. You shouldn't have.
Would
You shouldn't have.
Same as like at sorry, wouldn't it be the same as I don't know, with the Corey and like we are not. She's still looking elsewhere because she's not. She's still in the I don't know like affair for and she thinks she cannot plan with the guy even though it's like stupid and I need to show more and maybe she'll actually like give up on the idea.
Guillaume, I think what you're doing is you're flipping understanding of the reset, the valid and patience formula, validation, all this into happy wife, happy life. You know, maybe I'm not doing enough. I better work harder. No, dude, you're already working hard. That's my job, is to tell you if you're working hard or not, if you're succeeding or you're not. And other lords,
I feel like I wasn't.
You might,
so
Guillaume.
And then I think
Stop,
I
buddy.
started dating. Like,
you might, but I want you to understand this. Just because you're not perfect at things, sure, you can learn to be a better lover. We're already talking about how that can happen for you, right? I'm figuring out how I can get you more of that information and all that stuff, okay? Great. That's a skill to learn. And yeah, I don't think you were always a bad lover. It sounds to me like a lot of this is built off the marriage. This happens, like even what Jeff and I were just talking about. This kind of thing happens, okay? But what it is what you're doing with it. You said bad dating as well, so it doesn't matter which example. What you're doing is you're using your flaws to ignore your successes. And those flaws can all be replaced with success if you let them. I was a terrible lover. Terrible, man. But I learned some skills, learned how to last, to control it.
Yeah.
I never figured out to separate O from a jack, but like, whatever, I can last, I can control it. I was a terrible lover when I was insecure and afraid to say what I wanted, to ask what she wanted. Oh my gosh, I was so insecure when she told me she wanted. I screamed at her and told her how bad. I need that information because I'm so fucking good. Dude, I'm telling you, these are skills you can learn. But what you're doing is you're taking them as failures and holding yourself back from doing a very scary thing. It is scary to tell your wife it's over. It's not about you right now anymore. That's what you're missing here. You've shown up. You might have to get better at dating. Dude, I saw you. I watched you invite her on dates. We talked about going without her and trying to encourage her. I watched you become an incredible father. Her back off. Check out not from just you, but from the kids, man. That's unattractive as fuck. I don't want to be a mom. You do it. Man, that's why so many men are in the program. Because it's unattractive as fuck for the fathers too. For their wives to see that. So, dude, come on, man. You got to take ownership of how incredible you've done. Don't hide from this, man.
She's been evolving, or like right now she's really doing more for the kids. Like
that's great. That's great. That makes her mildly 1.5 on a 1 out of 10 scale. Dude, she's talking about living with another fucking dude when you're this great.
But I'm not supposed to have seen that. That's the thing.
Guillaume, stop. You're not going to have a conversation about it. You just know. Just go with that. Stop it. You shouldn't. By the way, the fact that you're a fucking 10 out of 10 brings you down a notch when you're looking at her phone. Why would you want to be with someone who makes you want to be someone you're not happy with? Man, what if Greg, pastor in the street, gave you a call or chatted with you in Lord's and said, hey, I saw her. You're not supposed to know about it either. Now I realize we got to get your anxiety and insecurity in check. I do. But there's a reason why you keep wanting to look at her fucking phone. Same thing happened to James. He was embarrassed. He did not want to be looking at her phone. He thought he was way past it. Fuck, man. He was right. Cheating doesn't happen as often. It just looks like it in Lord's because a lot of men come in with wives and affairs. But cheating is not running rampant. But if you've got a wife who's cheating on you when you've leveled up, that's not the same as when you're a piece of shit, dude. Or when you think you're so great and you're not. Or when you're not working on yourself and trying hard. All those reasons that I say in the beginning. Why isn't she looking at you? Well, Guillaume, I have a serious question for you. Knowing how great you are, failure or not looking at her phone, why isn't she looking at you? It's not in your court. She's choosing something else.
We're not. Yeah, she's been telling me like I don't know that sometimes. I mean, what I saw from her text was like she thinks I'm just annoying, and just like she basically has like a fixation on that guy now.
Guillaume, you're not annoying. You're not annoying. She should have a fixation on you, and she doesn't. So what I want you to do is what we've been talking about for, I don't know, 4 months now, 3 months. It's time, dude. It's time. You're enabling her to think you're a pussy, to be annoying to her. You're making her feel this way because you're being a pushover, which is a pussy. She knows that she can come home and pretend and have her cake. You really have to man up here. Cheating is unacceptable. I believe that cheating, there's always unacceptable that happens long before you're cheated on. If your wife or your husband, if someone's husband, is cheating on them, well, somebody else fucked up first. Come on, there's a wall between you. Obviously, there's mistakes that need to be addressed first before the morals. We're no longer in this stage, man. We've been out of this stage for months. You got to stop. You're enabling her. You're allowing her to choose to see if she wants, but do whatever she wants with whomever she wants. Protect
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
man.
I guess I make it look like she can pretend while maybe until things are right with the other guy. Like right now, basically he has some issues, and so she's like, "Oh, it's not gonna happen with him." So I'm pretending with the arms. I pretend I work on family until and you know that's the part I'm like, yeah, it's. I mean, just the thought of that it's horrifying already enough.
It is.
Because even if it turned out good for me, it's just because like she thinks he didn't work with the other guy or something, but not by choice right now. Right? I mean,
I don't care. In fact, your boundary is different than most. When we motivate with boundaries, we're hoping she wakes up. Your case, she's got a lot of leveling up to do before you give her an opportunity. You think you just get to show up? All of a sudden, I'm in because I hit rock bottom. She hasn't even been a mom for most of the last year. Like, I'm sorry, there's work to be done. You don't just take her back. It's just like when the guys are in the program and she's gone. There's things to do first, like conversations and dates. I don't trust you, even with a conversation. My program goes 90% both ways. That's what we don't understand here. I'm just speaking to men in a way that you'll understand about women. So why would we take that back? You should be looking down on her. And I do not mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean in a position of your growth is this high and this is unacceptable down here. Not for who I am.
yeah.
I don't deserve that shit. I deserve reciprocal love. I deserve a partner. I deserve peace. Look, Len, you poor son of a bitch. You're worried about your sexual performance. Why do you think you're so insecure right now? Because you've let her be with another man or whatever they're doing or wonder what they're doing for as many months as you can think of. Instead of following the advice.
I don't. I don't know what happened with them. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, they're not in the same city. I think what I heard from my counseling person is that what I got is that the guy rejected her, but she's still like focused on him. And somehow she's like, oh, I'm gonna try to make it work with my husband, or I picked him for life.
But she's not.
Keeping the
She's not
in the back burner.
But she's not.
And so I mean, she's not like
Stop.
physically
Stop.
cheating now,
Why are you still talking about him and her?
I mean, yeah,
Like, fuck.
it's hard.
I know it's hard, buddy. I know it's hard. And so let me I'm just being really harsh, and people watching on live, you fuck, it's because we've talked about this for months. But like, here's the thing. I'm being harsh because being softer with you, guiding you, it's making it worse. You need to hear this. I am always for saving the marriage. Always, always, always. But there is no marriage to be saved if you're this strong of a man and you have this weak of a woman. And it's not like you're not there to try to boost her and lift her. I'm never going to say that. Of course, we would always lift her. But dude, she ain't coming with you. She's an anchor. She's not a booster. She's choosing to fake it with you. Chase a guy who apparently rejected her. I don't know, whatever the fuck. Enough is enough, man. Now, I'm not saying it's over, too. You can say, this isn't working for me. It's time to find a new place, whatever that looks like. And that plan from there can change. You just need to see that she's willing to grow, to level up, to make different choices, to be an adult. You don't have to know anything. But right now, the only thing we need to know is the immediate. This isn't working. And you motivate her by putting a boundary for you, not on her. If you stop seeing this guy, okay, we can move forward. Fuck that shit. It's time to end it. That's the boundary. You don't deserve this. Then see what happens. It's gone on too long now. It's gone on too long.
Yeah.
I hate that for you. I know why it's gone on so long. You've been a very incredible, patient man. But now it's time to kill the patience. You're making her want to do whatever she wants. You're enabling the behavior. You're supporting her failure in life. Here, let me put some real responsibility on you. You are creating it, the pain, now. And you have been for a little while, a little too long.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
I know it's hard, man, because it means it's over. But remember, it doesn't mean it's over. It means it might be the wake-up call she finally fucking needs. In the meantime, if it's not, you can't control that. But you sure shit don't have to destroy you anymore.
So
Not-
Portis, we're supposed to go out tomorrow. What do I do?
No, man, you put a fucking hard boundary down today. Enough. You don't have to talk about the phone call. If she lies, you just know she's full of shit. It's another reason that she doesn't check off the boxes. There should be zero resentment. It's just she doesn't check off the boxes. What are you talking about? Why is this over? This just doesn't work for me anymore. Well, what doesn't work? I don't think we need to have a conversation. We all know what this marriage is like. That's it. You don't have to say, well, I know you're fucking somebody. I know you have a backup plan for where you're going to live. I know you haven't been much of a mom. No matter what we talk about, she knows. Literally, she knows. And see, a Lord doesn't have to disrespect and be rude and blamed, proving a point to show that he's such a great guy. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to have resentment. She just doesn't check the boxes off, man. And when she's ready, maybe she will check off the boxes. She's got to want to grow, man. That second order change. If you start going on about the affair, oh my gosh, I'll leave, and we'll. This is first order change. Now everything is totally cool, and she might just do it all again. And I can't even remember if this is the second guy or if this is one guy. I feel like it's the second guy, but I don't remember. But
No, it's
stay the same guy. Okay,
it's one guy.
so that's good.
I don't really know if anything happened, but just the fact that she's having this thing that it's okay.
Yeah, it is for so long.
Family.
It's so long, dude. Man, I've been trying to talk to you about this for months. Like this is so long. This is so fucking long. And now that's the reason I'm being stern, is like you've enabled this for far too long. You're enabling your own pain. And it's stunting your growth.
It makes me feel like it's me breaking my family.
You're not. She's breaking the family by not even being involved, for starters, and being checked out when she is involved, when she's on the phone with him, and being checked out when she's not with you, when she has responsibilities to the family anyway. Like, dude, it doesn't matter which angle we look at this from. She's messing up the marriage. And I'm not a blamer, dude. I'm recognizing the work that you've put in, the partnership you've created, the energy you've brought. How fucking hard is your situation to keep bringing the yes tone? Fuck, man, it's one of the hardest.
Yeah, I guess I'm not the best with the yes or no as well.
Well, no, well, of course. What do you think's going to happen? Constantly looking at her phone, knowing she's cheating. Don't put yourself in that position anymore. It's been too long. You already addressed the why she wasn't looking at you. Be proud of that man. Be very proud of that man. I never, you know what I'm like, man. I never care if she's having an affair. I'm like, it is what it is, man. Why the fuck is she looking at you? And I would say the same thing to a woman about a man. But once you know you're looking in the mirror and you're proud, you don't do that anymore. You get change. Oh, how can we save a marriage? Fuck, man. People don't even fucking pick up a book. You invested hard, man, on your time and money to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Be proud of the work you've done. I know I'm not the only one who's proud. I think Jeff was probably going to say something. I just didn't let Jeff speak yet, but I think he was ready to fucking pump you up. You know, Greg's been nodding the whole time. We know the work that you've put in, man. You can only invest in yourself in 2 ways, man: time and money. You did. And you put the time in at home too. I know why it's scary, man. I'm glad that you asked the question, am I tearing my family apart? No, she is. Because you put a boundary on you to not allow her to hurt you like this anymore, or the family, that doesn't mean that you made a choice. She might tell you that. We know who's going off doing whatever. We know how long you've been showing up while that's been happening. Dude, you showed up. You started showing up before we even knew there was another guy. You were already putting the work in. Put that into perspective for a second.
What was my trigger is she was texting some guys, but in the
Put that into perspective for a second. Really think about the perspective. She's choosing to not be engaged in the family. She's made plenty of choices to disengage. No, you are not tearing the family apart when you do something like this. You're showing your kids how a man should act and lead.
Yeah.
It's just hard because you're going to feel like a failure because your family is going to tear apart. Maybe. I don't know. She might say, I'm going to fix everything. Excuse me. I'm going to change. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. There's going to be another guy. Cool. You don't have to be in a rush, man. It's not like we're divorced. It's not like we're married. You don't have to be in a rush. Start having conversations again and start dating your fucking wife again. Or don't. But put the boundary in place first because this is unacceptable.
Yeah, so I still cancel the thing for tomorrow, but I do the boundary tonight kind of thing today.
Yeah, cancel everything. You're in no position. You don't end anything. You say, this isn't going to work for me. I'm figuring out what I want to do. You start there. Get her head cranking. This is over. I think you should start thinking about where you're going to live. Well, I'm not fucking leaving. Well, to be honest with you, I moved here to this new city for you. I moved here. I unpacked everything. You didn't. You're not involved. You've been very uninvolved the entire year. I'm not leaving. If I need to, I'll help you find a place, but you're getting out. So we're getting divorced? I don't fucking know. But I'm not living like this anymore. Be firm. Be assertive. Just don't scream. Don't be resentful. Don't go with her tomorrow. Why are you going to go with her tomorrow? We're not pursuing this anymore. We're not pursuing this. We're finding a way to end this. That's the only way she's going to learn. You've done the rest, man.
Okay, so I need to let it soak like this a little bit before eventually she shows enough willingness to come back, and I can go back to.
Don't think about saving your marriage right now anymore. Unfortunately, think about saving you and your kids right now. I hate saying that. And you're the first person that I've worked with that I'm like, this is what has to happen. Because I don't want to say this ever. I'll delay this as long as possible.
Yeah.
But this is what happens sometimes. Rock bottom. You're not the first man that'll have to lay a boundary. You're not the last. We do it all the time. But for you, it's the first time with cheating where I don't know that she's going to change anything. Like you've done such a remarkable job. She's still choosing to not be in the marriage. So stop letting her be in the marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, because no, that's true. What I get terrified is how much she's just able to like just lie in my face. I mean, like just pretends so good. Yeah. Anyway, you're right. She's just she's just choosing to not go with it.
Dude, that's why I said you're not ending the marriage. She's already ended it.
Yeah.
You know, this happens. You know, one of the guys in the program is getting pretty tired of being yelled at all the time. He's different. He's proud of who he is. Just because you sinned, just because you made mistakes, just because you were part of the problem doesn't mean you should ever suffer for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that you have to be in a rush to be forgived. But like come on, you're not going to choose unhappiness for the rest of your life when you decide to grow up. That's what happens when you become a Lord. You finally grow up and you figure it out. So you level up, you rise up, you become a real man. And now you're like, okay, well, I can even be a little patient. Part of being a man. Learning patience. Cool. But at some point your patience has to run out. You're not her fucking father. You understand?
Yeah.
You can't make her be an adult. And running around like a horny fucking teenager is a horny fucking teenager. You're a good man, dude. You're a good man. You could have done things differently, sure. More perfect, sure. We all could. I messed up the other day with Catherine. I was telling the guys yesterday. You know, like, fuck, we're not perfect. But you're a good fucking man. You're an incredible fucking man and father. You lead men every single day in this group. Through stress and anxiety and insecurity, you've shown up better than a lot of men would. Those are some pretty hard up feelings. Day in and day out, knowing what you know. That's why there's one man that's not going to say you haven't done an incredible job. You addressed why she wasn't looking at you. You did. Now it's time to stop looking at her. Maybe not forever. Hey, I hope we can save this. But right now I need to save you, my guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, she comes home tonight. It's over. Hey, don't say babe. Don't say hon. Hey, we need to talk. I don't want to talk about my phone. This will only take a second. I don't want to. Well, you need to know that it's over. Or yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about, babe? Well, to be honest, I'm done. It doesn't really matter how you do it. It's all super simple. One is making it happen. One is she lets it happen. Either way, it happens. It's gone on for far too long. What does that mean? Go with the flow. What do you mean? I don't want to. Like, I've been trying so hard. This isn't working for me. Well, can you tell me why? I don't think we need to go through all the reasons. I think we're all quite aware. Oh, that's so unfair. You don't communicate. No, I think that we all know about the affair and we all know about the time spent in this home, and I don't really need to discuss it. You're just as aware as I am about how you've shown up and how you have not shown up. All you do is blame me. Well, I think that's ridiculous. Clearly. It's been a good, whatever it's been, 8 months. I can't remember. Just don't fucking fall into the resentful trap. The blame trap.
Yeah.
This isn't blame. This is indisputable facts. There's a big difference. And you lay your boundary on you.
Okay.
I love you, brother. It's hard as fuck. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna be home after she does a thing, so she might, I have to wait until tonight, but not sooner, or we'll see.
If you need or feel the need to talk, Just make sure it's just facts. I know about the guy. Well, there is no guy. Listen, I'm not playing the game. 2 facts.
Yeah.
Stick to them. You know, I want a partner at home and I don't have one. Oh, I can be a better partner. That's really not happening. I've seen your response to partnership. Facts. Don't blame. Don't fight. Don't argue. Facts. Simple, calm, pausing, listening. I know that you want to save the marriage. I do too. You're looking for her wanting to save the marriage, not desperate to save the marriage. A true desire to reflect. That ain't happening in an instant. Not right now. She's not going to go, holy shit, I fucked up. Oh my gosh, unless it's full bullshit and it's fake. That's second order change, not first. Just fear, fear-based decision. I'm going to change everything. Do not fall for that. I'm not saying that we can't support her and lift her. I want to be clear. Amazing if this is a wake-up call for her. That's why it's called motivate with boundaries, not lay boundaries. Right?
Mhm.
I want to be clear. This could be everything that we need to get her on board. But we're not just going to accept it off a fear-based decision, a second-order change. That's not real change.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you back on a call tomorrow?
What's the day tomorrow?
Thursday?
I think
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday, you're right. Yeah. If I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have something.
Let's
I was
get-
trying to open my calendar to check, but yeah.
Let's get an update tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, buddy. You've really shown up, man. Just sucks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
But it doesn't mean it's over. It just means it's time to protect you. Okay? Okay. All right, Lords. I gotta let you go. Let's talk soon. Tomorrow. Talk soon. Talk tomorrow. Chats. Okay. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us on the live, guys. That was a tough one today. See ya.